Okay, this is a 48-second clip that I saw on the Christopher Hitchens subreddit, and it was so bad that I just felt the itch to rip it apart. And so, coming fresh home from work, I'm here to do it. So, let me get my headphones on to stop the feedback, and let's hear what this handsome gentleman has to say, shall we?
What's the difference between something that exists beyond time and space and something that doesn't exist at all?
Well, simple. One of them exists, and the other one doesn't. Now, I understand that that might be complicated for you to understand because you're limiting your understanding of space to 3 spatial dimensions and nothing further, but there are plenty of theoretical physicists out there that agree that there isn't just 3-dimensional space. In fact, extra dimensions are invoked all the time. So, this idea that just because something doesn't exist in 3-dimensional space doesn't mean that it doesn't exist is pretty fallacious and poorly thought out.
If you're beyond time, how could you create anything? Creation is an act. An act denotes a before and an after.
Well, that fallaciously suggests that your experience of creation and your experience of acts are exclusively how creation and acts are actually actuated in reality. If we had a being, say in theory, that was experiencing time backwards, they wouldn't even be able to experience creation at all. So this idea that creation requires time is something exclusive to your interpretation of things. It's not necessarily something that you can even prove, and it's not even logical. Why would your experience dictate how creation actually goes? That's nonsense.
That's time. If you're beyond space, including all possible space-time continuums, then where are you?
Clearly somewhere. He's clearly somewhere. I know he might be in some sort of imaginal transient realm, and that's not good enough for you, but that's still somewhere, right? That's not nowhere. And as I've already pre-established, there are dimensions that are outside 3-dimensional space. So somewhere.
If you're omnipresent...
We don't maintain that God's omnipresent. This is something that is sort of a straw man. Traditional Abrahamic religions do not believe God is omnipresent, and it's not really a biblical idea. So I'm not even going to bother responding to this. The idea that God's omnipresent is pretty buffoonish. If you're going to straw man God as being omnipresent, go for it. It's a dumb idea anyway.
Everywhere all at once, then you necessarily exist within time and space.
Yeah, but that would also necessitate them existing outside time and space, a factor that you don't want to accept because it would force you to not even have this small rant to begin with.
If you are everywhere all at once, then how could anyone ever be separated from you?
I mean, I don't disagree with that. You can't be separated from you, but there's more than one kind of separation. If a certain someone, who I'm not going to name, were physically in this room right now, I would still be separate from her, just not in the way that you would agree with.
In hell, unless you mean that hell is your destruction, in which case you no longer exist. If you no longer exist, then you are without time and without space, exactly where God is supposed to be.
Now this is just sort of logical word salad. No one really knows what hell is. It could be eternal damnation. It could be some sort of tortured chamber. No one knows. And so making stuff up in order to seem more logical and reasonable than you actually are is meddlingly unhelpful and fundamentally dishonest. I mean, he ends this video staring into the camera. I grade you an F-. Not only am I not impressed, I'm actually more angry than I was when I initially watched this video, because it's just so stupid that I've let you waste 5 minutes of my time. I'm ending the video here. Bye.